We should be live. Yeah, should be live and looking good. We're on my warrior right now. We're just grabbing an heirloom real quick from the Undercity. Should be over in the apothecary's quarter. And then we're hopping on my paladin. Well, I guess technically we're getting 2 heirlooms, aren't we? If I can find the stupid vendor. Is it in the magic quarter, maybe? I know it's not in the war quarter. I'm fairly positive it's not in the war quarter. But I do know it's in the Undercity somewhere. Over here. No. Guess it's in the Rogue's Quarter. I thought I flew past the Rogue's Quarter and wasn't there. Nope, here we are. By the engineering supplies.
I haven't got all day.
We want these. So what these will do is teach all of our characters the flight paths in Azeroth. So now we're gonna head back over to Trashbringer, our Retribution Paladin. We're gonna start getting going there. How is everyone tonight, huh? Everybody doing alright? Oh, whoops. I should probably, auto-decline guild invites. Alright, so we want to head into probably Ashenvale. Would be the best choice. I like Ashenvale. Ashenvale's, you can get through it pretty quick. You can get through Hillsbrad pretty quick too. This character is using heirlooms, which is a little bit different from the character that we were playing, our Hunter Bushwhack, because this character we want to level with speed. Heirlooms are these blue items that we have, which give us a lot of stats and also increase experience gained. So it speeds up our the leveling process for us. Currently we only have 1 talent, Consecration. The other talents, I don't really think that these other talents are really particularly useful while leveling, so I'm not using them. It's that easy. It's not a hard concept to understand. Tomorrow is patch 7.3. I'll probably be doing that stuff. I have intentionally avoided a lot of the PTR coverage, specifically because I want to experience the story and everything for myself. So tomorrow I'll probably be doing 7.3 with my warrior, probably. Warrior or Death Knight, one of those 2 characters. I'm not entirely sure which specifically yet, but because I will be it'll probably end up being my Death Knight on stream, because I want to I don't want to wait until my stream to start playing it. So I'll probably just jump into it on my warrior, who's gonna be my main character from here on out. Alright, this character is only level 20, he doesn't have flying. What a pleberino. We can close Kata. Don't need to see my ridiculously terrible low B DPS. The low level DPS is real, though, mate. Honestly, I should try and get into a mythic before the patch comes out tomorrow. Even if it's just like a +2. But, I don't know, I'm not super worried about it. Maybe I'll, in a little bit, I'll head over there and over to my warrior and see if I can't get into like a low-level mythic, like a +2 or a +3. Just for the box tomorrow, just for the champions cash. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't feel bad. Most people probably won't. Nah, I'm just teasing. Really? A duel? Where are you? Sure. Oh no, I'm feared. I can break out of that though. I'm gonna lose because it's gonna take longer for me to load, I bet. What a weird place to have a duel. I'm also not super excellent at PvP, but it doesn't really matter. Then why are you playing on a PvP server? I don't know, because that's where people are. You gotta play on those populated servers, friends. It's taking longer than usual to load, maybe because I'm streaming. That would make sense. Okay. There we go. I wonder if like the duel auto-canceled. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter.
What do you need?
Where's the flight master? I do not remember. Right here, standing in front of me. So we want to head over, I thought. Oh, right.
For the whore.
I need to use them. They're in the toy box, they said, right? Alright. Tell me I... Around Calendar. Alright, bear with me 1 second here. I messed up slightly. I think I accidentally bought the Alliance flight path and the Horde flight path for Eastern Kingdoms.
I am
We
forsaken.
need the Azeroth campaign. Discover several... No, we got them all. Okay.
Goodbye.
We want Trash Bringer. Enter World. So I've been playing a lot of Agents of Mayhem off stream. And I'm thinking about playing through that for the stream as well at some point. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so
What
now
can I help
we
you
have all
with?
these flight points. Super helpful. I'm not sure if these are all of them. No, they're definitely not all of them, but they're all of the major ones. So now we should be able to... That since it's... Ah, it doesn't give us the one that we need, specifically. For Ashenvale. It's fine, we can head to the crossroads and then just go up, I guess.
Go with
Well, move this off our bar. And we're at 0 drop frames. Hooray! Always fantastic when that is the case. CJ has come online. See if there's any interesting stuff going on. Doesn't really look like it. Doesn't really look like it. So we're flying over to here, the crossroads. We're gonna have to head north up to War Chief's Command, Ashenvale. Alright. We could pick up some quests here, but it's like we're at the ass end of the level requirement, so it doesn't really make any sense to. We're just gonna start trekking north to Alaska, going north, the rush is on. Or whatever the lyric is. Time for a casual stroll through the barrens. How's everyone's night tonight, huh? How are we doing? I hope everybody's doing okay. Hope there's no real complaints. I'm just excited that I can be back on a regular streaming schedule. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing like a consecutive 7 days again like I had in the past this week. Chances are probably not. I do want to do a 7 days of stream again soonish. I just need to put a little bit of thought into when I'm doing it. And I say that because it does require a little bit of like mental preparation on my part. Like it's not that easy to just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to stream for 7 days straight if you don't have a rhythm. Like, some people do it obviously because that's their living. They stream every day because that's how they make their money. I'm not at that point. And it'll probably be a while before I ever get to that point. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was talking about. Happens all the time. Alright, so we're here at the Morshan Ramparts.
What brings you here?
We need to heal 5 wounded Morshan defenders.
Ancestors watch.
Get some shoulder pads we don't need. Discover the flight location for here.
Hail.
We need 10 arrows.
Go in peace.
I think I'm also going to abandon some of these other quests that I'm not going to be completing. Okay, that should be fine.
Blood and thunder.
Fine, Gorad.
Go forth.
So we need to kill some stuff, we need to find somebody's dead body, and we need to do your kind of standard World of Warcraft questing stuff. So Retribution Paladin. I'm on the fence with how much I really like it coming in game. But I want to try and have one of everything as close to 110 as I can possibly get for the next expansion. Why isn't auto loot on? What? Auto loot. Okay. I never got this character bags either. And we're almost full. Which is fine. I can put this on my bar. My Traveler's Tundra Mammoth. It's got a shop on it.
Talk to me.
So I can sell off all this stuff that I don't need. Which is a lot of stuff.
Hurry back.
So I went from like what, 2 bag spaces to 23 bag spaces, something like that.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor. Here, have some medicine. There is an element of like boringness to using the heirlooms, I do think. It's like pros and cons. Because on one hand, everything dies like instantly. On the other hand, like everything dies instantly, so there's like you don't really get to participate in combat. You just like use one attack and then things are dead. On the other hand, it saves a lot of time, so it really depends on what you're trying to do. Like Bushwhack, we're trying to focus a little bit more on the story. But this character, we're mostly just wanting to progress like his levels fairly quickly. Fairly rapidly, so. So tomorrow, will probably be, how do you want to say it? Tomorrow will probably be 7.3 coverage. I'm thinking that that's probably going to be the best thing to do tomorrow. And then we'll see how much we get done tomorrow. It's not that I think that we're going to get all of it done in one night. We definitely won't be getting it all done in one night.
Peace, friend.
But the main takeaway is that it's all time gated. So we might just like do what we have access to tomorrow. And then go from there. See how much we can get done in like the usual 2 hours that we have allotted for my stream, that I normally stream. It's just rough with like the hours that I work. I like to be able to come home and have a few minutes to think before I start streaming. So that is why like I stream later. It's because I normally don't get off work. I don't get home a lot of times until like 9:30 at night. So if I start streaming at 10, I could stream a little bit longer, but that means I have to come home and then like immediately set up for streaming, which I've done in the past and I don't really like that system. On the other hand, I could stream more on my days off.
How may I aid you?
But then it's like, alright, well, I'm streaming outside of my normal time, and if I'm trying to generate viewership, that's not really the best idea. Not really the best methodology. Although soonish I might have different hours to work with. So we'll see what happens with that when the time comes. Alright, so this quest is a little annoying because we have to bring this, like, the quest marker is over here because it's indicating where Captain Ellen Dilial is. But before that, we need to bring this over here. Back to that orc that we found earlier. And that's explained in the quest description, but that's why some of these questing tools can be a little misleading, to say the least. Now we have to wait for this guy to say what he has to say. And then, excuse me. I came out of nowhere. And then we're gonna follow him north. Could he move any slower? It's what I don't get with stuff like this, like with escort quests. Like, this isn't really an escort quest per se, but like, why does he have to move slower than the player moves while running? There's no real reason for it. I think his animation is bugged, though. I think he's supposed to be doing a walking animation rather than just a standing idle animation. That is kind of funny. That reveals this alliance captain. Oh right, I forgot that he jumps like that over to the shoreline. But we got there. We got there. Stab this guy in the face. Throw some hammer. Get you some of that extra experience. Delicious. I want to check my spell book here in a second.
Well met. Goodbye. Strength and honor.
I want to go ahead and do this though. He's gonna take us to our next destination. Cleanse Toxin, Hand of Hindrance. Crusader Strike rank 2 at 26. Divine Storm at 40. So this is really like the spells that we have now are basically our offensive spells, like all of our offensive spells.
More ground.
Alright, so we need to harass some peons for some freshly cut wood. So we'll go ahead and do that. Hey, what do you think you're doing? They were not so happy about our wood cutting. And even though there's 3 logs here, we get 1 freshly cut wood.
Something you doing?
Guess it's all kind of semantic though, huh? Like, kind of the point that I was making the other night, where it's like you'll need 10 of something, but they'll drop in stacks of 2. So in reality, even though you technically need 10, you only need to loot like 5 of them. I guess this is like that theory, kind of in reverse. We need to find more peons. Ready to cut some wood. Ready to make some lumber.
Yes.
Come on, demoralized peon. I will protect you. I will keep you safe. I think my brother took the remote for the AC, which is a little annoying. But it's whatever, I suppose. Where are you going? Why are you chopping wood from up there? Okay. If you says so. If that's what floats your boat. And for those of you wondering, no. I have not forgotten about the Dark Souls 2 Let's Play. I plan on finishing that. But I'm kind of on a WoW kick right now with 7.3 coming out tomorrow. And I felt like playing WoW tonight. Honestly, I feel like playing Agents of Mayhem, but I don't really want to set it all up to start a new game tonight. because that basically there's only one file on Agents of Mayhem. You can't have multiple files. So if I wanted to start a new game in Agents of Mayhem, I would have to create a new user profile, like on PlayStation. And that can take 10 minutes, 20 minutes to do, so I didn't really feel like doing that. Maybe in the near future, because Agents of Ahem. I'm having a lot of difficulty talking tonight. Agents of Mayhem is actually a really fun game. I do recommend it. And yes, I have I'm playing it on the PS4. Because I did a little bit of digging and the computer port isn't great. There's a lot of technical issues with it, and I'm worried that they won't ever get addressed. So I'll end up just like
Go forth to victory.
stuck with this game that doesn't work. And I had a lot of interest in it, and I really wanted to play it, so I just decided to get it for the PS4. I can abandon this as well. Swing batter. This quest now is pretty much just about finding the right enemy to kill, which is these slimes here. It'll be a little bit better when Crusader Strike gets its second stack. But until then, Paladins just feel like really slow paced is all. Like, they don't have a wide art, like, it's hard to meet that balance because they want paladins to feel like maintain their utility that they have with like their buffs and their support spells and stuff like that. But with the ability pruning, that generally meant that if they wanted to keep all the support stuff, like keep Paladin's core identity with support abilities, and make them DPS, you know, decent DPS, kind of meant that they had to hedge and cut back on some of the offensive abilities. I have it, but like for instance, typically Retribution doesn't use Consecration. Exorcism no longer exists. There used to be Exorcism and the Art of War proc that used to make it an instant cast for Ret. A lot has changed. I personally think that Retribution was funner in older iterations. But I can't just go ahead and play nothing but Death Knights and Warriors, can I? Variety is the spice of life, as they say. And you never know what kind of changes they'll be making. Every new expansion, they make some sort of change to the way that classes are played. Don't know why I'm yawning so much right now.
Lokta.
Maybe it's because it's casual,
Go with honor.
casual and relaxing leveling. And I'm kind of tired. Suddenly, like I'm quite tired. And it might largely just be because of the fact that I don't think the Paladin is a particularly engaging class. It's not bad in PvP. PvP is alright. When you're making decisions about using your buffs. But for PvE, it's kind of on the simpler side of things. Really? We're going back to the ramparts? Okay. I thought we were going to Splinter Tree Post, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Gorka's dead.
What do you need?
Unfortunately. What? How's my inventory already full?
Time is money, friend!
How strange. What the heck? I guess I kind of have tiny bags, huh? Swap those gloves out. Oh no, these are actually better. Never mind.
Keep it real!
Loktar!
Speak to Cataract at Morshawn Ramparts and accompany him to Splinter Tree. Okay, now we're going to Splinter Tree. And this might push us to 23. It might. We will see. Brewtusk is one tough cracker. He's shooting lightning bolts. Teach them the meaning of blood and thunder. Brewtusk is really doing some damage, huh? Cataract, you are a champion. Then I think at 25 we can go to Stone Talon, yep. So Ashenvale is what, level 20 to 25 zone. And then at 25 we go to Stone Talon. Okay. Oh no, Brewtusk. It's okay. He got the job done. That's all that mattered.
What do you need?
And we get a ring. And level 23.
Go with honor.
I need to bring somebody a blood-soaked axe.
What you want?
We need to kill 9 Ashenvale Outrunners.
Loktar, go
15 demons of any type. And then there's whatever they want us to do back here. Quests for everybody. From everybody, for everybody. It's quite literally that simple. An utterly vicious blow. I adore the idea. That's a cool looking sword. If I do say so myself.
For the Horde!
I wish there was just more options, like if you wanted to like dual wield as a Retribution Paladin. I wonder if they'll be rolling back, because there were classes where you had more selection, like Fury Warrior and Frost Death Knight, and Unholy Death Knight for that matter, where you could either like actively dual wield or not. 7 Fellfires. But they changed what weapons you could have equipped for your like specific abilities. Now require you to have like, oh, you need to be using this specific weapon. Can I kill you? I can probably kill you, huh? Although you do a lot of damage, but that's fine. We can heal damage off. They can't be stunned though. That's good to know. He did almost get me that time, however. Like Frost Death Knights, for instance, they used to be able to use two-handed weapons, and you could use either playstyle, either like Frost dual wield or Frost with a two-handed weapon. And both of them were balanced and viable. Now you have to dual wield if you want to play Frost. There you are. I was hearing this guy going in and out of stealth, but I couldn't quite find him. I guess that's the point of stealth, isn't it? To make you harder to find. Did I? Oh, yep. I was like, did I hear another one? I did. In fact, hear another stealth guy. They're everywhere, man. They're in our raccoons. Sorry if I'm a little bit quiet right now, because I'm listening for that. There's a specific sound effect for when something with stealth enters your, like, enters the radius at which you can see them. So I'm trying to listen for that and figure out where these guys are. That's that done. Now we can head over here. Actually, I guess we might as well do this while we're right here. What the hell was that? Like my camera just spun, even though I didn't move the mouse. I feel like I've been having that happen a lot to me, specifically in WoW. Or like I'll move the camera a little bit and then it'll suddenly shoot off in a different, like, realm of camera panning. Go ahead and kill this NPC. Because we can. Get that residual damage going with, I actually might come back and do this because I feel like I get a quest for killing the severed druids. So it might be best to come back and do this in a few minutes now that I think about it. So we're gonna go demon hunting in the meantime. We're not a demon hunter, but there are demons which we need to hunt. Although any class can be a demon hunter with the Warglaives of Azzinoth. There actually was a very strange time in WoW's history. At the end of Miss of Pandaria, I believe it was, going into Warlords of Draenor, where they did a stat squish, it's called. Basically what they did was they took all of the numbers on your equipment and made them smaller. But they really only did it at the higher level content. They didn't apply it retroactively. So you ended up in this weird spot where equipment from like people were queuing into like looking for raid and like heroic dungeons, right? And even though their item level with it equipped was obviously lower because the item level was significantly lower, people had comparable like trinkets and stuff like that. And if you looked at it like Wowhead and stuff like that, like Icy Veins for instance, there was this really awkward period of time for like 2-3 months, whatever the time frame was specifically, where like the Cataclysm endgame gear was like best in slot again. And it was just kind of funny because like some of the tier bonuses were like so powerful that people were like going back and farming the old Cataclysm content for their like tier sets because the stats were equivalent, right? It's just that the stats were equivalent. The gear bonus was better. It's just the item level was lower. So you look at the character and it's like, oh, this character is in like item level 300 gear. But it didn't matter because the DPS you were doing was better. It was a very, very weird time to be playing the video game. And they typically do stat squishes like once every few expansions. So we probably won't be seeing another one anytime soon. Well, probably not with the next expansion, I should say. But if they do end up doing a stat squish again, we might see something like that happen where like Warlords of Draenor gear and game gear becomes the equivalent of like Old Gods gear. What's up, Swerve? How are you doing tonight? You're catching me while I'm talking about very strange times in World of Warcraft's history due to the squishing of stats and the reduction of stats. I'm alright. I'm a little tired and I'm not really sure why. But I'm definitely glad to be able to stream regularly again. I'm very happy to be able to look at the stream and see that we have no drop frames. So whatever the problem was previously, for like the last week or so, it's definitely gone now. Which is always fantastic when your internet works the way that it's supposed to. That worked out perfectly. That I killed my last demon right by the last bit of fire that I needed. Alright. I guess now we'll head back to Splinter Tree. Makes the most sense to me, yeah? I'm excited to hear what the next expansion is going to be. Chances are they're going to announce it during BlizzCon. That's what people are expecting, because they have said that 7.3.5 is going to be the last content patch for World of Warcraft Legion. They have no 7.4 planned at this time. So to me, that's really indicative of.
Well, spit it out.
On top of 7.3.5 being the last content update for World of Warcraft Legion, which is going to be the patch after 7.3, obviously, we are going to see well, somebody actually sat down and figured it out that there's 77 days between every content patch. So the time between Legion, the Legion launch, and the first major content patch, the second major content patch, and this last major content patch, the release schedule has been every 77 days. And BlizzCon is going to be right around the same time that 7.3.5 comes out. So chances are they're probably going to be talking about what the next expansion is to start generating hype. start suckering people in, start trying to get people back into the game. What is going on? We just had a, like, brain fart here. So I'm really curious to see what the next expansion is going to be. Why are we, like... We're not dropping frames, which is nice.
Lita.
But we are suddenly lagging some.
Greetings.
At least with these quest turn-ins. It's very strange.
Strength.
24. We got Hand of Hindrance. As far as the next expansion goes, it's probably going to be Old Gods content, because we haven't done anything pertaining to the Old Gods since Cataclysm, and that was 3 expansions ago. So we're talking about 6 years without seeing the Old Gods at all. There's been a lot of hints throughout Cataclysm. There's been a lot of hints throughout Legion that the Old Gods are going to be making a comeback and rearing their ugly heads. If we're going to be dealing with, like, all the Old Gods in one expansion, I don't know about that. But there have been some data leaks from Blizzard. I'm not sure how valid it was, but these data leaks were explored, and it looks like the beginning, at least, of the next expansion is going to be nautical themed. Now, keep in mind that there is still a whole second half of Azeroth that Blizzard has never done anything with. Up until this point, they've basically kept it blank intentionally. So if they ever decide, hey, we want to try doing something with this, they have total creative freedom over the whole second half of the continent that we haven't even seen, hasn't even been explored yet.
Strength and honor. Strength.
So there is a possibility that we're going to see something, involving exploring the second half of the continent. And squids meaning Old Gods. Well, by nautical themed, we know of an area that we've never really been to, referred to as the South Seas. And the reason why there might be a connection there is because there is a old god known as Enzoth. N'Zoth, rather, not Enzoth, but N'Zoth is one of the only known old gods that we've never actually faced in combat. We fought Yogg-Saron, we fought Cthulhu, Enzoth and Yasharaj. But Yasharaj was defeated before World of Warcraft started. They kind of brought Yasharaj back. Kind of. In Miss of Pandaria? Oh boy. The Yasharaj is what created the Shah in Miss of Pandaria. And it's what eventually corrupted Garrosh Hellscream, because he kicked he basically stole the heart of Yasharaj and used it to fuel his cruel machinations. But I kind of went off on a tangent. But the original point being is that N'Zoth is believed to be trapped under the ocean, trapped under the sea. There's still also the Naga and Queen Ajara. Queen Ajara is still alive somewhere. So there's still a fairly decent amount of threats that they could build entire expansions around. Honestly, so I'm not really worried about, like, the longevity of World of Warcraft. We pretty much have that on lockdown. And worst case scenario, I'm sure that they could always do a good job coming up with new threats. Like saying, alright, well, the Void Lords, as far as we know, are the most powerful beings in existence. But what if there's something even more powerful? Oh, I'm not done yet with this. I thought I was done. I still need to kill 2 of the attacking elves. How annoying. Use the accursed or artillery fire. Okay. Blammo. There we go. Now we're good. Can I not be an imp anymore? No, I have to be an imp still. Oh well. Oh, there we go. We're slightly less impish. And I'm really excited for the next expansion and seeing what it is, because they did such a good job with Legion. They really... I don't want to say that WoW was on its last legs, but Warlords of Draenor was... It's almost like it was designed to fail. Like, they intentionally made it so it would suck. And we would have 2 years of the game, you know, sucking a little bit.
Blood and thunder.
And I wonder if like I said, it was designed to fail.
Farewell.
And they kind of intended it that way. So come 2 years later, they could release Legion and just blow everybody's pants off, because Legion is a really good expansion. Because Legion went into development before Warlords of Draenor. And we can kind of see proof of that in Mists of Pandaria, right? Because we have this quest line where Wrathion talks about the worst invasion of the Burning Legion Azeroth has ever seen. And a part of the subplot in Mists of Pandaria is Wrathion wants to build a powerful army. Which is actually what leads to Warlords of Draenor. Because Wrathion frees Garrosh Hellscream after the Siege of Orgrimmar and sends him to alternate timeline Draenor to begin to start the Iron Horde, to prevent Draenor from being taken over by the Burning Legion, to start the Iron Horde, and then have the Iron Horde come to Azeroth, where they could fight in a united front against the Burning Legion. That kind of backfired when I forget his name. There was a member of the Bronze Dragonflight that literally betrayed the world. And he decided that, hey, Garrosh Hellscream can make the new Iron Horde, and the Iron Horde can actually be used to destroy Azeroth, because apparently he didn't like Azeroth. Or maybe it was that he was, like, corrupted by the Burning Legion, and rather than use the Iron Horde to make Azeroth's army stronger, they wanted to weaken Azeroth for the Burning Legion. I don't really remember the specifics. But, The other big problem with Warlords of Draenor is that, like, a ridiculous amount of content that was planned never made it into the game. And we're talking about, like, a good 70% of the story that was written for Warlords of Draenor never actually made it into the live game. So Warlords of Draenor, if you haven't played it, has a lot of these plot lines that just literally go unresolved. Like, they'll start a story arc in a questing zone, and then it will never be addressed ever again because the whole story got cut from the game. I also can't help but wonder if they're planning on doing more time bullfuckery like they did in Warlords of Draenor. They've said that they didn't really like doing it in Warlords of Draenor. They didn't like writing the story for like an alternate timeline where they could like... Because it created a lot of confusion. Like, for instance, Gul'dan, the original Gul'dan, died years before World of Warcraft started. Right? But then we have Gul'dan from New Draenor, who becomes one of the main villains in Warlords of Draenor, and then in Legion, he's one of the main villains in Legion. But like they do a lot of weird. That gets confusing. For instance, they do the weird stuff where they go to Draenor, and then in the Alliance side, when they go through those quests, more specifically in Shadowmoon Valley, which is the Alliance starting zone for Warlords of Draenor, the first questing zone in Warlords of Draenor for the Alliance. The Prophet Velen from alternate Draenor dies. And then people were really confused because Warlords of Draenor ended, and then we come back to Azeroth, and then there's Prophet Velen doing a bunch of stuff. And Blizzard like had to explain several times that no, the Prophet Velen who died in Warlords of Draenor was not really Prophet, like, not our Prophet Velen. Prophet Velen stayed behind in Warlords of, like... It's just very, very confusing when you get into dealing with time travel. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't... It's not that we'll never see time travel again. It's just that chances are not that high of them using time travel as kind of like a storytelling mechanic, a storytelling device. That's all. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I think, at the very least, they did a really good job with telling stories through questing in Warlords of Draenor. Something that they didn't really quite do as well with Legion. And that could be for several reasons. It could have to do with just maybe different writers being on the team. It could have to do with different quest designers being on the team. It could just be that they wanted like less linear zones. It could be a result of the scaling world in Legion. Because with the scaling world, wait, where is this? Oh. It could be that with the scaling world, a side effect is that you have to make the story less linear. Each story for every zone kind of needs to be contained to this micro story specific to the zone. And there can't be a whole lot of there can't be a whole lot of like runoff because it's not a linear story at that point, you know? It's where the hell do I go for this? Might not matter. We could probably hit level 25 from turning in these two quests and killing some stuff. I lost my train of thought again. The gist of it is time travel was super confusing. Probably won't be seeing it again as a storytelling mechanic. We'll probably see a lot less linear storytelling as long as they're using the scaling world model. And I am super excited to see what the next expansion has in store. To sum up my thoughts from the last 20 minutes. I'm going in like literally the opposite direction that I need to go. Well, you know what? It looks like the way to where we need to go is over here, so I might as well just do it then. Get this done. Looks like there's a lot of people in the area right now, which is kind of neat. Feels good being on a populated server, let me tell you. I mean, sometimes it's nice when you're on a server like almost literally by yourself. You don't have to worry about running into people and not being able to tag your quest mobs and stuff like that, but for the same token, it's nice to see people actually running around being active and whatnot. So, pros and cons. I'm not really looking forward to being on a super populated server for the expansion, though. I've gone through that, having to, like, wait a half hour, 40 minutes, and queue just to play the game. And then if you get disconnected, you have to wait all over again. And then if you go AFK and it kicks you off, you have to wait all over again. I mean, there are like hell stories about people who like have to wait like 2 days before they can play the expansion. Just because the server time is like literally, the queue to get into the server is like literally 48 hours. Kind of ridiculous. My advice if you want to take it that seriously. And this is what I'll be doing for the next expansion. Is I will be taking like 3 or 4 days off in a row for the next expansion, logging in, and I'm not planning on like logging out of that character once I'm in, and just like powerballing it for like 3 days straight. And then you take like a week off, you play like 4 days, minimize your sleep schedule, feel like crap by the end of it, and then you just lay down and sleep for 4 hours at the end. 4 hours, 4 days after it's all said and done. Because if you put a lot of energy into it to begin with and get your character max, like, all ready to go and ready to raid, then you don't need to put nearly as much effort into it over the course of the next week or so. Well, I say the next week or so. Really the next few months. Are pretty much at that point, like, finished, done. You maximize the amount of time that you needed to play the game, or were playing the game out of the gate to minimize the amount of time that you need to play the game in the future. Even if you feel like shit by the end of it. Even if you feel like shit by the end of it. Where is this, what is my Hearthstone set to? Sunstrider Isle, I never changed my Hearthstone. That's kind of annoying. I'm gonna have to hoof it out of here, but... such is the way of things. That is not where we need to be. Where do we need to go? Where is this last guy we gotta kill? I'm very turned around and confused right now. But this path is going down. Not in here. This is what we're gonna spend the next hour doing, folks. Being lost in this cave. It'll be fantastic. Oh, we don't want to go back up. There's something here that I have missed. Quite obviously. And wouldn't be able to tell you what it is. This is back up, isn't it? Like leaving the barrow. Maybe it isn't. Like these maps don't help at all. Because they're not layered in any way to show you, okay, this is where you are on this floor, this is where you are in this floor. This is just a dead end. Actually, it's not. Actually, it is though, mate. All right. Well, this has been an experience. Wandering around underground, going around in circles trying to find this NPC that I have to kill. If anyone has any advice, that would be swell. I don't know. At this point, I'm fairly confident that these two quests, though, will get me leveled up. So screw it, I guess. Just kidding. What the hell was that? If that warrior is still here running around trying to find the guy that you need to kill. Oh, that's where he's hiding. He's in here. Alright, so then we'll just hang out here and wait for the respawn. Just WoW things. Oh. He's already back. Makes me feel better about myself there. Now it's just a matter of figuring out how to get out of this friggin' hole in the ground. The secret to that is just going up. And continuing to go up. Wow, he was literally like right across from the entrance. That's like super silly to me. That he was that close to the entrance and I spent that long wandering around trying to find him. Oh well, I guess. On our way back to Splinter Tree Post. You guys are not nearly intimidating as your Legion brethren, let me tell you. So this is probably going to be a staple on my channel for a while. The kind of casual leveling that we're doing right now. I don't know so much if I should try to like get back into raiding and stream raiding and stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll see where the tides take us. Because it's both hard to like do WoW as like a hardcore thing, like stream WoW as a hardcore thing, when you only have a few hours a day to stream. It inevitably means that there's stuff that I'm going to have to do off stream if I want to try and show you guys everything. Which means it'll take a little bit more work. Because I'll really have to take more time to decide, okay, this is what I'm doing this day, this is what I'm doing on stream this day.
What's up?
And you kind of have to like stagger content so your whole stream, you know, your stream can watch it.
Glad I could help.
Irima.
Ah, potential customer. Hurry back. I got the best deals anywhere.
So I don't know.
Blood and thunder.
Maybe we'll try it. Maybe if I can get my schedule working well enough, maybe we'll like when 7.3 comes out, we'll be able to stream earlier in the day and stream for longer. So we can look at doing like dungeons and world quests and stuff like that.
Farewell.
Along with like regular other stuff.
Loktar.
Alright, now I can move on to Stone Talon Mountains, which we've already picked up. So we're going to go ahead and work on getting that done. Alright, you know what? Y'all suck. Although these guys aren't terrible experience, huh? They're each worth like 600. So theoretically, if you really wanted to stand here and grind out the these ancients, you can. Easy 1500 experience for killing a couple of elves and ancients. It's just that, like, for normal characters not using heirlooms, it's a much different experience. How long do they respawn, honestly? Like, how frequent? Because the respawn timer is actually pretty good. I honestly think this would be viable. In the 5 minutes we spent doing that, we've gotten like 20% experience. Each one is giving like 2 to 3% experience. This would actually be like a viable alternative to questing through the area if you really wanted to take the time to do it. At first I was just doing this as a joke. That's not actually a terrible theory at the end of the day. Alright. We got a solid extra. The only thing is, like, you'd really, that'd only be viable on a character that can heal itself, like a Retribution Paladin. Or like a Enhancement Shaman. More than likely. Hunters might be able to get away with it too, because they can heal their pets. I kind of learned something new today. Something a little silly, honestly. Now it's time for a relaxing ride through Ashenvale. This is such a serene location. Turn my HUD off so we can just kind of appreciate what's going on in this zone. I think it's down over here. No, that's not right. Need to turn my HUD back on. Yeah, I think we need to go further along this road. An absolutely beautiful zone. And this isn't even like a zone that was updated recently. They don't have the same graphics as like Legion, for instance.
Speak, friend. Strength. May your blades never dull.
Well met.
Might as well turn that in for some extra experience. Grab this. And then I believe we need to hop in this Kromgar wagon to head to Stone Talon. Forward for great justice. The skunk works. Sounds pretty terrible. Sounds pretty terrible. Sounds pretty skunky. Stardust Spire. I can turn my HUD off for now while we watch this wibbly wobbly. What is this experience right now? Is the driver drunk? I think so. Are we done yet? Yeah, alright.
Magraw.
And that's our 100th quest complete. Yeah!
Be safe.
We need to kill 8 elf killers. Or, never mind, we need to arm 8 elf killers. Because just anyone can go ahead and arm a landmine. No big deal. Just hoard things. I would like to hit level 26 before the end of the stream. Oh, I've been sapped. Well. Was not expecting that. Probably should have done some healing first, yeah? Oh well. My brain, like, does not work when it comes to PvP. That actually wasn't that bad. That guy was quite a bit higher than me. Because his level was question mark, question mark. And I still managed to get him down to like 50%. It's probably high 30s, if I had to guess. I'm gonna wait a second here and see what happens to this troll. Give it a minute and see if he gets sapped or not. No. Alrighty then. We'll go back to arming landmines. And if we get attacked again, well, now there's me and this troll here, so. One more landmine after this guy. What the hell? Where did you come from?
Loktar. Go forth to victory, Sug.
Alright, well there's our level 26 at least. That gives us Crusader Strike rank 2. I guess we'll go ahead and try and push to the next inn here. Doesn't make a lot of sense not to at this point. Really? Dazing me? Dazed and confused. There is nothing to do. Why do the goggles just come kicked off? Killed 6, need 6 more. Math at its finest. Helps that we're one-shotting these guys, I guess. At 28, we get Divine Charger, yeah? Divine Steed, yep. Alright. This is the last one that we need to kill. And then we need to go get the Alliance attack plans. Evidently. Which are over here. Done! Now let's go turn this stuff in. Then chances are we'll probably be stopping soon. Hopefully doing these quests here sends us over to an inn or a town with a flight path at the very least, so we can fly to an inn.
Dabu. What do you need? For the Horde.
That brought us up to level 27 real quick. Real quick, yeah. This is bringing us over to Kromgar Fortress. So that's nice. That's where we want to be going. Because if there's no inn there, at least there's a flight path, so we can fly back to like Winter Tree Post or something like that. That way we'll be rested and ready to go again when we're ready to level this character more. The Windshear Crag. Not to be confused with the Windshear Craig. Two very, very different things. But very often confused.
Makra. Dabu.
We want to look for an innkeeper. There's an innkeeper right over here. Fantabulous. This is where I'm going to be calling it, I suppose. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all tomorrow for patch 7.3. Cannot wait. I'm so excited for this. You have no idea. Have a good night. Whoa. That's odd. I didn't, Okay. Weird.